Hello, everyone. My name's Ryan. I work here at Crow Canyon. Going to be hosting our webinar today on our self-service portal. Thanks for joining. It's just at the top of the hour now, so I'm going to give folks a minute or so to kind of trickle in. So bear with me while we wait for everyone else to join us, and then we'll hop into the demo here in just a minute or two. We actually do have a poll about what version of SharePoint you're using. So while we're waiting for folks to come in, I'm going to launch that. Feel free to, feel free to answer that as we wait for everyone to kind of trickle in. So if you can, that'd be great. And well, like I said, we'll get started here in a few minutes. All righty. Okay, so thanks for filling out the poll, everyone. I really appreciate it. As expected, we kind of have a smattering of people who are on Office 365 SharePoint Online as well as SharePoint on-premise. The great thing here is that our applications work on both, SharePoint on-prem as well as SharePoint Online in the classic and the modern UI. And today we're going to be talking, as you can see from our slide here, about engaging our remote workforce. Right, this is more and more prominent now in today's current climate, right? Based on the global health crisis that we're all experiencing here throughout the states, is forced us to be more, or work from home, have our workforce be more and more remote, deprecated, spread out, right? So our idea behind our self-service portal, which is a product we've had up and running for a while now, is to make it easy to communicate and disseminate information to both our end users as well as our technicians. And that's really what the focus of the conversation is going to be on today. It's, how can we keep our end users engaged? How can we drive and keep a high user adoption of both our maybe Crokenian tools or our Office 365 use through a set of these operational portals, these self-service portals. So just a little bit of a background on Crow Canyon for those of you who don't know us. We've been around since 1999 and been developing on SharePoint for quite a while. SharePoint on-prem, I think all the way back to 2003, and Office 365 since its inception. And we have a series of out-of-the-box applications that come that we offer, as you can see here on the bottom of our slide. Now, all of our out-of-the-box applications, including the self-service portal, is run on something that we call Nitro Studio. And Nitro Studio is a way for us to create and maintain our own applications with our own tool set. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with like InfoPath, SharePoint Designer, the new Power Platform and the 365 world. Well, the Nitro Studio is our own tool set. In my opinion, I like it, not only because it gives you the ability to control these pre-built applications, right? Once they're installed in your environment, you have complete control over them. But it's a little bit more orientated towards the different groups who build, create, and maintain, sites, site collection, SharePoint tenancies, SharePoint farms within, the space that we live in. So we have different levels designed to really give ownership to maybe a power user, a departmental user adminning a site, all the way up to the developer side tools for our SharePoint admins. So that's how we operate. We have the Nitro Studio, we have our applications, and then like we talked about in the beginning, we're going to focus today on this self-service portal. So just briefly, I want to talk about the structure, the hierarchy, and then I'm going to jump into the product demo. So how I see this, how I see this fitting inside of a 365 environment is really the self-service portal is the tip of the iceberg for your employees, your employee-driven portal. How do I put something in front of them that looks nice? How do I put something in front of them that they're going to use? And then once they use that portal and they pass me the information that I need, maybe it's a ticket or a request, what do I do with that information, right? And we need that common space, that common landing page for them to, either request or give you information, then have it be routed to the appropriate departments. And that's really what the focus of the employee portal is for, right? They come in, they submit a request, and then it gets routed to these different applications that that we offer, that you guys maybe have set up inside of your Office 365 environment already. So our out-of-the-box applications are labeled here at the bottom: IT help desk, asset management, customer support, etc. And throughout the month of April, we're going to be doing a series of webinars on these applications. So as you can see, we're trying to build an idea of what a structure could look like in your guys' 365 space or your on-prem space. So this top level being a portal, this next level being your application layer, and then we're going to talk about another type of portal today too that's more technician driven, more maybe management driven, where we can see a roll up of tasks and dashboards. So just like your end users where they need a space to view, submit information, a lot of the times our technicians or maybe our C-levels or maybe heck, our SharePoint admins need a space to see everything that these applications have to offer rolled up into one space. It's too difficult to jump from IT help desk to maybe facilities to maybe purchasing and try to get an accurate idea of what's going on across all three departments, right? You're at one, you have to jump to the other, you get sidetracked, something comes across your desk, and then you forget where you're at. So this idea behind our technician portal, management portal, operational portal, for lack of a better term, is to give you the ability to roll up all of your tasks, all of your reports into one common space. So just kind of as a quick recap, we're talking, today's the tip of the iceberg, right? We're talking about structure with our employee portal. We're going to cover our operational portal, and then setting us up for the rest of April, where we're going to cover these different applications and how they interact with our particular self-service portal. You're going to get a taste of it today, seeing how we can submit different requests, but we're going to go deep into those applications as we move through our Wednesdays in April. And it's going to look a little something like this: help desk next week, purchase and contract management the following, onboarding and HR requests, and then followed up with asset management. Okay, so enough overview. Let's talk about our portal structure. So this is our employee portal, self-service portal. And as you can see, we try to brand it to make it look appeasing to our end users, right? The top question, or a question I get more often than not when I do these product demos, is how can I keep my end users engaged? What can I do to keep them, coming to this portal? What can I do to get them to use this portal? And one is, the first thing is branding, right? So we want to make it, attractive to them. You can come in, you can change the background, you can change the color schemes on the quick tickets, the different headers, the titling across the top. That's all configurable through our portal settings here in the upper right hand corner. So that's something, if you're an admin, a controller of the site, you can come in and make changes to. So you have your front end, your end user facing, and then through your portal settings, the more technician side, the admin side, where you can come in and actually make changes to, like I said, the logos, the imaging, the color scheme, etc. Now from here, your end users can submit requests across those departments that we talked about, right? That application layer, that service layer, leave requests, purchase requests, hardware requests, IT, new hire, right? They have everything that they may need to request from a department, all from one common location. So instead of sending them to, multiple different sites within your 365 world, or working with different apps or whatever it may be, this is their link to gather information or submit requests to your particular departments. And what happens is that when they select a request to submit, it gives them a form, and these forms are Nitro Studio based. They're customizable, they're configurable. Each application can have its own set of forms, and we'll get into the form designer when we talk more about the applications in upcoming webinars. But the idea is the same, right? We're an extension of your 365 space. So it can automatically pull in, the information that you want to from their logged in account, right? Maybe their email, maybe their department, maybe their phone number. And then they can come in and fill out their ticket, right? Maybe it's a new IT ticket in this case. Fill out a category and an issue type and hit save. Now from the end user's perspective, all they're seeing is that, hey, a new request has been submitted. And then for them, they can see their requests across all different departments from this View My Tickets tab. So from the home page, they have the ability to submit the requests that we've made available, that you guys have made available. And then from the view my request page, they have the ability to view those requests, track those requests, again, all from one coming landing page. So we can brand it specific to them. We put the requests, the forms that we want in front of them, and then they have the ability to track and manage those requests from a common interface. Cuts down on emails, cuts down on phone calls, especially now that we're more spread out. We know we're not all working in the same office. We're not one door away. It gives us all one common landing page to, to interact with each other, right? Another thing we can do is we can actually push notifications up to this portal as well. Some content, right? As you can see, we have a self-service webinar today, right? As we all know, but we can also push some other things up to this page pertinent to whatever, you guys want. Any information that you want to pass along to them, you can give a start and an end date using our portal settings, our admin area. Under our homepage settings, we have our notification section. And what this does is it links to a backend list, right? Where we can see where all of our notifications live. Now, when you add in a new notification, you can title it, let's say webinar example. You can give them a navigation. Maybe there's some work from home policy that you want to put in place. You have a link to on your site. Maybe there's a document or attachment you want to have associated with it. And then you can give it a couple different alert types, critical or information, and then you can give it a start and an end date, when it's going to appear on that portal and when it's going to leave from the portal. And then once you hit save, it gets added to our backend list, and then it will be added to the portal page itself under our notifications tab. So we're requesting information, our end users are requesting information from us, we're pushing information to our end users, again, all from this one common interface. Now the other option here is under our quick links. And this is just a way to pass maybe training manuals, user manuals, things like that. It's just another area for us to come in and customize the look and feel and the information that we want to pass to our end users. Like my wife works in healthcare, and a lot of them are either on the front lines or working from home, and they have a very extensive VPN login process, right? And a lot of the things that they push out or that we hear is that we need to be able to have VPN access or get in using our VPN accounts, right? So that's something that you could easily push to a portal and have it be consumable right from one common landing page. So the idea is this: we give you a portal that your end users are going to use, and we give you the ability to make it look and feel the way you want it. Link it to any backend SharePoint site that you want. We're not restricted to one singular SharePoint site collection. This can span multiple site collections, and we can push notifications and information to those end users, again, from that one common space. So it gives us the ability to really tie everything together and put it into one pretty package for end users, really anyone that we want to have consume it. Now you can also do things like push KB articles up to your employee self-service portal. It kind of goes hand in hand with the quick links. Maybe these are a little bit more pertinent, top of mind, but we also give them the ability to search knowledge base articles as well. That ties into a backend list. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Nitro Studio, we leverage something called list search, and this is our list search. So it gives us the ability to search a list and library specifically. It's not going to spit us out across an entire SharePoint site collection, but we can point, exactly at a single library. So, the idea of self-service portal is kind of like what we laid out. The submitting information, gaining information from the back-end teams. But if you truly want to make it self-service, we have to talk about adding in some sort of bot or an easy way to interact and can look at knowledge base articles. And that's again where the Nitro Studio comes into play. Through the back-end settings, under general settings, in our portal page, we have the ability to build in a live chat integration. Now this can be in the portal itself, but since Teams is becoming more and more prominent, I always lean towards Teams, but the idea is the same, right? You can put a chatbot AI services in front of your end users. So whether you choose to do that within the portal or the team itself, it gives you the ability to push that information, out to your end users. So I'll give you guys a little example of what that could look like. So as you can see, I've just said hello. It's recognized, who I am, and then what service area do I need assistance with. Now I have it set up on a couple of my IT sites, but this could equal any of the applications that we want to make available to our end users. So they can request information again from one team, from one landing page. We'll use IT in this case. All right, we'll do, I don't know, can't print. Now what the bot's doing right now, it's taking my description, right? Something super descriptive that we typically get from end users, right? And it's trying to find knowledge base articles that are gonna match my problem. So it's saying that it can't find a problem, which is perfect, right? We're gonna add in more detail. We'll change it up. We'll say, forgot password to printer. So now as this, what it's doing is it's really getting us to fill out the form that we've created on our portal without us knowing, without the end user knowing, right? So what is it doing? It's gathered my information, my login info, what service area I need help with, right? Which backend application am I tying this to? What the issue is. It's trying to alleviate my issue by KB articles, and then it's giving me the prompt of what do I want to do from here. So I still have the ability to submit a ticket, or maybe my issue has been resolved, but I still have the same functionality through our TeamSpot, through our AI services, as I would from our backend self-service portal. Now, if you're interested in the TeamSpot, we are going to have a few webinars coming up specifically around bots and AI. So keep eyes out for that. We're going to take a more in-depth look into what we can offer there from an AI perspective. And obviously, if you're interested, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll provide that information before the webinars go live. Okay, so this is our self-service portal. Submitting a request, viewing information, submitting a request via Teams or AI services, and then having it route to the backend department. But now I want to talk a little bit about working these requests from a technician or maybe someone who spans across multiple departments. And that's where our secondary portal comes in. So what we have here is, again, another mobile responsive, sorry guys, ahead of myself. I should comment that all of our portals are mobile responsive. We want you to be able to work from your phones as much as possible. So this will scroll down, right? This will fit on iPads, iPhones. This is available through the mobile app, browser-based. That is 100% mobile responsive, both the self-service portal as well as our technician portal. So the idea is that we want to be able to pick up information from whatever device that we're using. Now, our technician portal is a little bit more, I don't want to say sophisticated. We're all running off the Nitro Studio, but it's pointed more towards being functional for those technicians. What I mean is maybe we have access to ticketing, maybe we have access to assets or contracts or purchasing or onboarding tasks, right? And from a technician, it doesn't make sense for me to bounce around from, each, like I talked about in the beginning, all 5 of those applications. What I want is one area to see all, requests associated to me. And that's what we're giving you here with this quote unquote operational portal. The idea is the same, self-service portal. But from here, we can take advantage of, again, the Nitro Studio's list search features. So I can search multiple lists and have them roll up into one search, right? And I can do it from, again, this page. But I can also see different list view web parts from all those different applications on one dashboard. So I can see tickets assigned to me, that new ticket we just created. Maybe I'm in charge of our asset loaner bank, right? Who has what assets, where they are, who they're checked out to, when they're set to return. Maybe I have some approval tasks on purchase orders that I need to manage and maintain, which I can do from here. I am responsible for contracts, expiring contracts in 30 days, and I want to be able to see all those contracts from one interface, right? As well as onboarding requests. Anyone who works in IT knows that when an onboard comes on, IT is going to be involved anyway. So instead of creating or managing those tasks in the onboarding application as well as a ticketing application, it's all from this list search feature is on the same page as our ticket feature. So again, just kind of a quick recap. The idea is like, look, all of the tasks that are associated with you, your quote unquote technicians, are available from one interface. Now, again, it doesn't have to be technician focused. It can very much be management focused, or just have that roll up dashboard that anyone can have access to that works in multiple departments. Another thing, or another feature in Nitro Studio is our reporting tool, and this comes up a lot. And this is more pointed towards maybe management or really anyone that needs to see reports across multiple departments. And leveraging our Nitro Studio, we can have our reports roll up into one page. And what's cool about this now is, for those who like to geek out in the SharePoint world like myself, is we have the ability to pull in any information from any site collection. So we're not limited to the site collection that we're in. So what I've done is I've actually gone out and I've created applications in different site collections across our internal SharePoint tenancy. Ones that have been pre-built, ones that have been added recently, and I've gone and plucked information from all of those applications and pulled them into this new dashboard. So checked out assets, tickets by category, open purchase requests, expiring contracts, HR requests, tickets by status. So these live in, a separate site collection, different sites, and instead of having to be or explain to someone SharePoint hierarchy, SharePoint structure, where to find these sites, where they live, giving them links, living them in emails, what you do from an admin perspective is you give them this dashboard. And in this dashboard, they can see everything pertinent to them. And what's cool about this is that you can make these things equal to me. So the reports, the same as the list view web parts, is that whoever's logged in, we can show them information pertinent to them. And what's cool about that is it's not only necessarily a person, it could be a location. Maybe you work in, well, it could be any side of industry, but you have multiple offices, multiple locations spread out, the state, the US, the world, whatever it may be. And you want each location to see information specific to them, maybe their requests, their purchases, their tickets, their reports. So when they log in based on their account, we can display those reports specific to them. We can display those tickets specific to them. And what's nice about this is that it comes configured a certain way out of the box, like we talked about. But if you have appropriate access, if you have the admin rights, you can come into the site settings just like you could, any SharePoint site, and make this and take ownership of our Nitro app to make it specific to you. So let's open these up. So I talked briefly in my intro about all of our applications being Nitro Studio centric. And this is our Nitro Studio interface. Now we've talked about some of these features already, being the reports, the Power Portal, those AI services, the list roll up, the list search, the list view. That heavily lives inside of the two portals that I just showed you. But the Nitro Studio comes with everything that you see here: approvals, branding, tiles and dials, email sync, forms, and workflows. And once these applications are installed within your SharePoint tenancy, your SharePoint farm, you own the applications. You own the content, right? It's not calling out to a Canadian server. It's not being stored in some private website. It's living inside of your SharePoint space. So like I was saying, our applications come out of the box a certain way, but with a bit of Nitro training, a bit of diving into these tools, is that you can change and make these specific to you guys. I should say specific to your organization. So like we talked about the forms. The forms are configurable for each application. We'll get into that in more detail, but the reporting, let's talk about this while we're here, since it's a big part of what we do for our roll-up dashboards. You have the ability to configure and manage reports and have them be placed with any page that you like within the self-service portal. Creating a new report, it's as simple as kind of going through our walkthrough, right? Like giving a report a new title, just say new report. Selecting from a list or multiple lists to roll up into a report. So it doesn't have to be a singular list. You can have multiple lists roll up into a report from our current site collection or from a specific site URL. So like I was talking about, we have these different site collections that we have for demo purposes inside of our space. And what we can do is we can actually go out and we can grab information from those other site collections and display it like we showed on that dashboard. So when we come in and we create a new report, I can plug in that URL from that other site collection, and the tools are smart enough to show me everything available in that particular site. So I can go and say, okay, you know what? I want to create a report on all of our work orders. Maybe I want to see all open work orders, and I want to have it be a pie chart. I want to see assigned staff and by number. We'll do ID. And we'll have this be as a count, meaning, show me everyone's tickets assigned to them, or work orders assigned to them, right? Count as. You can actually preview the report before you save it. But the idea is that we just plucked information across our SharePoint space and rolled it up into one dashboard. I know kind of a long-winded way to prove the point, but I wanted to really hammer this home is that we're not limiting you to creating information for whomever into one site or one site collection. It's really giving you power over your entire SharePoint space, leveraging Nitro Studio, leveraging our out-of-the-box applications to put that in front of people. Now, obviously, we're going to have more information the more and more we engage with our Crow Canyon applications, right? Our help desks, our asset tracking, our AI services. But the idea is that, we're going to start to paint a picture of what the structure could look like, and that was the point of today's webinar of, hey, let's talk about the top level, tip of the spear, how employees interact with your backend departments. Let's talk about how our technicians can interact with the requests that they see on a day-to-day basis, how it's mobile responsive to them, how they can come in and make changes all from one landing page. Let's talk a little bit about report roll-ups for our management. And then as we push forward, through April, we can talk more about how our different applications connect to our portals. So we're just coming up on the bottom of the hour, 11:30, the end of our webinar, and I do want to make some time available for questions. So if you guys do have questions or some questions have come in, feel free to shoot those over now. We have Scott Restivo handling the questions box. So if you want to pop those in, go for it. Or Scott, if you want me to cover anything more detail, feel free to shout those out.
There aren't any questions per se, but people can always send them to sales@crowcanyon.com at any time, or contact Ryan or me or anybody here at Crow Canyon, and we'll help you get started with the self-service portal and all the other applications.
That's a great point.
Questions that come up later.
Yeah, that's a great point. You don't have to wait for our webinars to see our applications. You're more than welcome to reach out to us. Either Scott or myself will be happy to walk you through a demo of these tools and how they interact with the self-service portal. I feel like that's the best way to kind of understand how these tools can work specifically for your environment. Whenever we talk about applications and out of the box and self-service portals and out of the box, my opinion is that it gets you as in your organization of 85–90% of the way there, and then it's a matter of taking ownership of the last 10 to 15% to make it specific to you. And that's where those individual demos, those one-on-one calls really help frame the conversation. So if you're interested, sales@crowcanyon.com. You can reach out to me directly. It's my first name dot my last name @crowcanyon.com. Here's some info. But yeah, we would love to take you through a private webinar, or private product demo, I should say.
That's right. That's right. Okay, good.
Scott, do you want to talk a little bit at all about the AI services and what they can expect to see coming down the line for those?
Yeah, if you go to our website on the webinars, there's April 16th is a TeamSpots webinar. We did a mini summit on Teams. If you go to our website, you can see there's under resources, Microsoft Teams. There is a mini summit we did last Thursday, and it had 3 well-known MVPs give talks on different aspects of Teams, a lot of interest in Teams. So Crow Canyon's moving into the Teams world. Our Nitro Studio, as Ryan was showing in the webinar, the Teams bots integrates with our program. So if you need a team bot, you want to talk about bots, we can do that, or anything else with Teams. We can help you get set up, get going. And also under resources webinars, you should see the next webinar. It's called Hot to Trot for a Bot. That's the clever title we have for the under resources webinars for the webinar on April 16th. And we'll give a lot of good information on teams and bots and how to get them going and the different kinds of bots, the different ways they can be implemented, and mostly about how they can be advantageous to your business to help users or customers or employees get better service quicker without engaging the staff necessarily. There's a lot of tricks to it, and I'll be sure to cover those. If you scroll down a little, it should be a little bit lower in the, I don't know if she's put it up yet. Oh, shoot, she should have put it up already. All right.
Coming soon.
It's coming soon. We have it. We're putting a lot of information up there quickly, so not all of
No,
it's ready
yeah,
yet.
it's a good point. I mean, as like we kind of touched on it earlier, but we're a lot of us are being forced to work remotely from home, and I think Teams is going to be more and more prominent, right? It's going to be a big a thing of use in the 365 space moving forward, and we're just doing our best to kind of help you integrate Teams with what you're doing currently, and I think these bots are going to be the next step forward. So definitely some cool stuff what Scott and our team are doing. So keep eyes on that April 16th webinar.
Right. And the ones each Wednesday you have coming up for the Wednesdays in April,
Yeah,
the different applications, those you showed those earlier. Those would be great to
yeah.
attend also.
Yeah,
Huh.
we're gonna do a fun plug on those. We're really gonna take a deep dive into the different applications and the ins and outs of the forms, the workflows, how they interact with those portals, and what you can do from a technician, admin, Nitro Studio perspective, and how they all tie together, and even how they Teams and AI bots can interact with our applications as well. I think that's a big point here that we talk about a lot internally, and we try to have that be present in our webinars and our applications and our services, is that whether it's SharePoint or it's Teams, it's all a part of your SharePoint environment or your 365 environment. And what we're trying to do is connect everything so it's seen as a natural extension of your 365 space. So whether your end users are interacting with Teams or they're coming directly to SharePoint, we want to still give you full functionality to run applications, to run your remote workforce, all from this platform that you've invested in and that you're using every day. Would you agree, Scott?
Yes, absolutely right. There's so much these can add to your remote workforce as well as even your workforce in place. And if anybody's going, I don't know if anybody's still going to the office anymore, but if they are, these will continue beyond the health crisis and provide value even if things get back to so-called normal at some point. So there's no harm in exploring these in depth and seeing if they can be of use in your organization.
Exactly. Exactly. I know. Gosh, yeah. I don't know if anyone's still working from the office anymore, but it feels like we've been shelter in place for 3 months now. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it just gives us the chance to better our 365 offering, our SharePoint offering, and really fledge out what you can do with Teams.
All right, Ryan, thanks for the webinar. I think it was useful, and we'll be in touch with people.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We are going to send the slide deck and the video out after the fact, but again, if any questions pop up, feel free to reach out to us and we'll take you from there. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.